Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to the channel. It's Cynicalex, and I was gonna make this video with a few things to talk about, and then another thing came out, and then another thing came out, and there's so much to talk about now, and I'm actually super hyped for Spider-Man Far From Home, and it starts with this right here. This is such a cool splash screen. It's very movie specific. We've got the event quest live now. We've got the event tokens live now, but there's no hint from the token itself. It's just a question mark. It's got kind of the colors of Shocker, but I don't want to get too hype for Shocker. And then we have confirmation of at least one new character. Trade them in for the new character. Spider-Man's not new. Mysterio's not new. Nick Fury's not new. So who's it gonna be? Is it gonna be a Spider-Man villain? Is it gonna be Maria Hill? Is it gonna be someone else entirely? I have no idea, but I cannot wait. I am like 10 out of 10 excitement right now. But the excitement does not stop there, ladies and gentlemen. There is so much more to get to, and I'm actually so happy. Netmarble is and they got the splash screen there. They're taking the momentum from Endgame, and they're honestly springboarding that shit into space. Look, what you're about to see is bonkers. All right, so let's get to the first things first. What the hell am I talking about? First off, Marvel Entertainment or Marvel Games posted this on Twitter like 5 minutes ago. So we're gonna go ahead and watch it now, and it's got, of course, all of the games being featured. The quality of the video is quite low because it's on Twitter, and they have like a restriction on what you can post. I couldn't find it on YouTube. I couldn't find it anywhere else, but I have to bring this to you, so you just gotta watch it here. So we got the Strike Force stuff. Very, very cool. Mysterio. We got Shocker. We got Rhino. It looks cool. It looks great. Marvel Battle Lines. I keep almost wanting to get into that game. Contest of Champions is getting the stealth suit, and we've got possibly reworks for Green Goblin, and then of course you got new Mysterio there. Puzzle Quest is getting some stuff as well. No Mask, Jake Gyllenhaal making his way into Puzzle Quest, but of course they saved the best for last. Let's go. All right, Marvel Future Fight, what is going down? Are you ready for this? I was pretty hyped when I watched this. This is so early, guys. Okay, check this out. Spider-Man swinging in, Mysterio's right behind him. Mysterio going in, Spider-Man new move, and then Spider-Man with the tier 3 skill. Okay, there was a lot packed into those 10 seconds. I love that they left Future Fight to the end, but this first scene, the fact that it looks cinematic, this is not a skill, and the fact that we see Mysterio right behind Spider-Man, this almost, in my mind, completely confirms a legendary battle, because this is exactly what you would see in the sort of video intro or the kind of cutscene before you do an actual legendary battle stage, right? You always have that cutscene before and possibly after. So this is definitely, I think, a strong indication that we are getting a legendary battle. I mean, we usually get legendary battles for movies, for MCU tie-ins, but we didn't get one for Spider-Man Homecoming, and this is not technically an MCU. I mean, it's sort of an MCU tie-in, but it's still Sony. But it's really nice to see that we're most likely, I can't guarantee anything, of course, but most likely I would bet on getting a legendary battle. And why else would you have this? I mean, this is not a stage, I don't think, and why would a stage, even if this were a stage, let's just say it was a stage, why would it have two characters in one character's skill animation? It really doesn't make sense, unless Mysterio is going to be some sort of new boss and some sort of new stage and some sort of new game mode, but I think that's a huge stretch over just the typical legendary battle. So that's pretty dope. Then we do see, we get a very short glimpse. I didn't see there. We get a very short glimpse of Mysterio's suit, looking very icy, very detailed, very nice. We got the eyes are back. No indication that he's tier 3 yet, but then we do see Mysterio applying silence and shooting those green lasers out of his hands. So he's doing the green smoke and the green lasers. It doesn't appear to be an iframe, but this does appear to be a very cool looking skill. And then we see a brand new skill from Spider-Man, and this is dope. I gotta tell you, he slams down one of his sort of, now they're kind of trademark concrete or sort of steel beams. You know, it's hot enough to melt steel beams. He started off with the steel beams way back with his original look, right? Because he would web up those two boulders, I think, but sometimes it was steel beams. Anyways, and he would snap them together. No, it was his 5th skill. Way back with Spider-Man's original uniform, he would web up one steel beam and swing it around. So this is kind of an homage to that. With his original uniform, which is terrible by today's standards, he stays still and he swings a steel beam around his head with his web. Now he plants the steel beam and he swings around that bitch like a fidget spinner yo-yo. So that's amazing. And then I believe this is just his regular tier 3 skill, but it may have an additional animation at the beginning for the spider sense, which is actually a very nice touch. But we do see what looks to be, and that's a really cool shot actually, this looks to be his usual tier 3 skill. It may still be reworked, it may still be getting a buff, but it seems as though the animation is the same. And I'm okay with that because the animation is actually very, very cool. So take a deep breath. That was pretty damn dope, I have to say. That was amazing, and I want more of that personally. But I'm not gonna. Hopefully, I'm probably not gonna be able to get more of that for a while. So yeah, if you want to see that again, hit me up on Twitter. I've reposted it. I've retweeted it. It was also retweeted by Danny Koo, one of the senior production or senior producers for Marvel and Marvel Games. Very cool guy. Definitely check that out. In addition to that, yeah, I know the video's not all about Far From Home, which is pretty bonkers. But in addition to that, there's a bunch of stuff in-game that I want to talk about that's now live. So we have the event quest for the tokens. You're going to get 80 tokens per day, 7 days, 560 tokens. Your general sort of, typical quest. Now, the event shop is not available yet. It will be available after the update is live. So just save your tokens, get them every day, and just wait. That's all you got to do. Just complete the tasks. There's nothing difficult here at all. So just finish them off and get your tokens. Very, very simple. Additionally, we do have, I believe, a crystal spending event on right now. So for those of you that have been saving up crystals for a deluxe pack, now is the time to purchase. Now there is the train of thought, there is the school of thought that saving up to 10,000 crystals and then blowing them all at once to get the mega rank up ticket is the best possible situation. And people have suggested that to my free-to-play account. And I agree with you. You're right, but I am not going to do it. It's an extra 3,400 crystals that I don't have right now because I literally, on my free-to-play account, I literally have 6,640 crystals. And it could take me a long time to save up those 3,000 crystals. I mean, even if I'm playing every single day and I'm logging in and everything, I'm only going to get about 2,000 crystals per month as a free-to-play player. So it's going to take me almost 2 months. And in those 2 months, if I purchase the legendary quest or the epic deluxe pack now, those 2 months I could spend farming the quest. I could have a 6-star invisible woman. I could probably farm her enough bios to get her to tier 2, and I could get 60 or 50 days worth of all of those bios and obelisks and ISO and gold from that specific mission. Or even if you go for the Psylocke one, it's the same thing. So that is the optimal advice, and then the more realistic real-world advice if you are someone who's been saving crystals for a long time. The rewards are not very good to spend up to 5,000 crystals, which is what you're going to hit, the landmark, but it's better than nothing, which is what you would get if you just spent them regularly. The other big thing in-game right now is the Alliance double donation. Oh, it's not live yet, darn. Okay, so there's going to be an Alliance double donation that's going to be live pretty soon. I'm not exactly sure when it's going to be live, but it should be live. Okay, it's live tomorrow. So starting tomorrow, you should donate 1 million gold every day as long as you have at least 5 to 10 million gold, and you'll get double the Alliance tokens. You'll get 200, and there will be extra stuff in the shop. There will be boost points. There's going to be hidden tickets. Always buy the boost points and hidden tickets, but there's also going to be Phoenix feathers and Emkron shards, crystals, and then you can also get black antimatter and chaos norn stones with those extra tokens. The last thing I want to talk about, this is a jam-packed video, that's why I'm going at hyper speed, is the following quiz or sort of survey. And this is amazing, and I actually tweeted out a Marvel Future Fight giving them props for doing this. This is the absolute best response after closing Alliance raid. If I was working for Netmarble, like you guys always make that joke, if I was the CEO, this is exactly what I would do. So whoever is calling the shots right now, do not stop calling the shots. Do not get up from your chair. Do not give someone else your duties. Continue what you're doing, sir or ma'am or other, and please continue, because you are going to make this game even better than it already is, and I can feel it in my bones, okay? So they canceled Alliance raid. That sucks. They're going to rework the rewards for Alliance raid into other existing content so we don't lose the gold and other features and Alliance XP, whatever. Okay, cool. What's next? Well, take one of the best game modes in terms of the actual design, in terms of the mechanics of the fight, in terms of the fact that you can invite your alliance members so you can actually play with people who aren't airheads and morons and noobs. Pile on the fact that you are playing against an epic boss in a very cool location. I mean, Giant Boss Raid, that's what I'm talking about, okay? The only problem with Giant Boss Raid is the rewards. The rewards are trash. I mean, they're not really trash, but they're only useful for a specific small group of players, and the rewards are not progressive enough. So what are they doing? Share your thoughts in the community event. They're going to be giving away rewards. They're going to be giving 50 boost points and a 4-star hero chest for just completing the survey. But more importantly, and we've already gotten almost 1,000 people participating. Awesome. I want to see this like 10,000. Anyways, the people who participate, hopefully they're going to be making some improvements to Giant Boss Raid, and hopefully they'll be taking some of our feedback into consideration. So I'm actually going to whip out my keyboard now, and I'm going to fill out, I'm going to answer this right now. So enter my code name. It's Cynicalex. That's caps. That's wrong. It's Cynicalex. Enter your player ID. Okay, I'll do this later. Don't worry about that. Enter your shield level, 70. Enter your agent level. Oh man, come on, you're killing me here. 157. What are the benefits of Giant Boss Raid? You can play with your friends, and you play against an epic boss with no, hang on. Let me write this again. Okay, hang on. You got to formulate the right sentence. Okay, what are the benefits of Giant Boss Raid? Number one, challenging gameplay. It's difficult. It's not easy, and that's what I like. It's a piece of end game content for veterans. Number two, you can invite your alliance members to play with you. And then number three, what's the last good thing about the last good benefit of Giant Boss Raid? Some good rewards. Okay, cool. What are the drawbacks of Giant Boss Raid? Rewards do not feel like progression. We've talked about this before. You get the type enhancement kits and you're like, cool, I got a bunch of 1-star type enhancement kits. I got one 4-star, and you can't do anything with that shit. It just sits in your inventory. I have hundreds, possibly thousands of different starred type enhancement kits because I just, you know, you could use them. I could convert them into soccer balls and I could use them, but you kind of just feel, basically imagine that you're surrounded by targets. Okay, you're surrounded by a bunch of different archery targets, those red and white and blue circles, and you've got, let's say, a gun. I know it's a weird analogy, but you've got a gun and you're surrounded by a bunch of targets. You know what type enhancement feels like for the most part, for most players? It feels like you're closing your eyes or you're blindfolding yourself and you're just shooting at random targets with your gun. You don't feel as though you're making progress in a meaningful way. You don't see a meaningful stat bump, right? It's just on that one page for type enhancement. And then even when you go into PvP, you don't really feel like there's that much of an improvement on your characters based on the type enhancement. I've type enhanced characters, you know, to level 3 or level 4, which is a lot of investment, and then I've taken them into PvP with that type in mind. Like I type enhance a combat type, and I go and fight a speed type, and I can't really feel a difference in their damage and stuff. I'm sure there does make a difference. I'm sure there is a difference. I'm not saying there isn't a difference, but I'm saying if the player can't feel, if the player can't notice the difference, then something's wrong. So something needs to change about that, or you need to change the way that we apply the type enhancement kits so that we can feel as though we're making progress, even if we can't feel the end product of that progress. You know, even though you might not feel your character getting stronger from Uru, you can feel that you're progressing as a player in your development of the character by combining the Uru and then equipping it and seeing how it all changes and manipulates your character. Oh, my skill cooldown went up because I equipped these skill cooldown Urus, etc. But with type enhancement, you don't have the front end satisfaction of progress, and you don't have the back end satisfaction of progress either. It's not satisfying on either end. So the rewards do not feel like progression, and type enhancement is too RNG, is too random and punishing. What are your suggestions regarding the rewards of Giant Boss Raid? The rewards should be improved and or rotated. Different rewards on different days, not just type enhancement kits every day. So this is another suggestion that I've made repeatedly to Netmarble. Rather than having one game mode that gives out one reward statically, even though the reward itself may, differ slightly, why not have a game mode that rotates its rewards? Kind of like Shadowland. It doesn't necessarily rotate its rewards, but you can choose what rewards you get from Shadowland by going down different paths. The same would be true in a different way. So, on Monday, I don't want to play Giant Boss Raid because it's giving out these rewards. But on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, I really want to play Giant Boss Raid because it's giving out those rewards that I want, some different reward. And it's important to do that because then you encourage players to play more on specific days. What are your suggestions regarding the difficulty of Giant Boss Raid? The difficulty is great. Please do not make it easier. This is something that I've seen people say. It's frustrating for them that Giant Boss Raid is just a game mode for very, very strong characters. But honestly, we don't have enough game modes like Giant Boss Raid. And really, the only game mode that is as difficult as Giant Boss Raid is World Boss Ultimate at a very high stage. I'm talking like 40 to 50 to 60. And World Boss Ultimate is single player. So honestly, I would even welcome a higher difficulty of Giant Boss Raid. I would be okay with a more difficult Giant Boss Raid because you can bring your alliance members in, and because we do need a true, at least one true endgame mode. And the fact that this endgame mode is not even dropping very good rewards is just kind of besides the point. I mean, it should, but it doesn't, but whatever. But making it easier is not going to satisfy anyone because, trust me, even if you can't do Giant Boss Raid now, eventually, if you keep playing, you will be able to do it. You should not be able to do all of the content in Marvel Future Fight after playing for just a few months. That's just not how it should work, because think about the players who have been playing for a few years. Why should you get as far in 3 months as someone else did in 3 years? It doesn't work like that in a job. It doesn't work like that in school. It shouldn't work like that in a game. People are investing their time. Their time should be rewarded. So for those players who have been here for 3 years, who have been here for 4 years, even 2 years, you should be rewarded. You're rewarded in Shadowland, but it's random because the Shadowland chests give you random rewards, so it's not that satisfying. You should be rewarded in Giant Boss Raid, period. People who want to make it easier, please rethink your stance. If anything, you can make it harder, more challenging. So I have more suggestions, of course, for Giant Boss Raid. What would you like to see added to Giant Boss Raid? Okay, so we already suggested the rewards being either improved or rotated, and I think the rewards being rotated would actually be the best possible option. Now, as far as things being added to Giant Boss Raid, there's a bunch of different things I have. The ability to add friends, or the ability to invite friends list players to the game, rather than just being able to invite people from your alliance. That's a huge one. Number 2, I would like to see another boss added with new rewards. Example, Galactus. So this is an example, or this is a suggestion that a lot of people give. The Giant Boss Raid game mode is very open to so many interpretations. Galactus, Ultron, there's so many very cool, Annihilus. There are so many cool kind of mega bosses. Even Dormammu could be a giant boss, and that update that brings Dormammu Giant Boss Raid could also include a Dormammu rework. Imagine how cool that would be. Imagine if you had to play Giant Boss Raid Dormammu Edition to upgrade your Dormammu. Maybe you're getting fragments of his uniform or something else like that. That would just be amazing. There's so much potential. I'm not sure if I spelled Annihilus right. I keep looking at it, but there's so much potential for Giant Boss Raid. I think it could be one of, if not the best game mode in Marvel Future Fight, if the rewards are improved and tweaked, and they continue to improve it. I'm honestly hesitating because I want to really hammer home that the rewards should be improved, because if the rewards stay as just type enhancement kits, people are never going to want to play the game the game mode, that there's never going to be that much enthusiasm for the game mode, because type enhancement really only applies in large part to PvP. But with that being said, I'm going to wrap up my survey. I hope you guys take the survey. I'm really happy to see Netmarble not only making the game leaner and more robust, but also trying to improve the best game modes in the game, and even trying to improve the ones that are not the best but could be and have the potential. So with that being said, I am, more hyped than I have been in a while for the future of this game. Hit me up in the comments. Let me know what you think. Hit me up on Twitter. Hit me up on Discord. Subscribe if you enjoy the content and you want to support me. And of course, if you like what you see, I hope to see you again tomorrow. Take care.